Welcome to episode number, I don't know, does anyone know? Anyone out here? Is anyone keeping track? I feel like it's like 15. I say that every week. I feel like I've been on like episode 14 to 16 for the last few months. So anywhere around there. It's a solo mission today, guys. No Mance. Mance is on the road, but the show must go on, so you're stuck with yours truly. Hopefully we can make this nice and fun and interesting for you guys. I'm kind of nervous. I was thinking about it and I was like, I haven't done a solo for a long time. Sorry, that's Dallas in the background. I haven't done a solo pod in a while. I had 2 great episodes with Becca back to back. And then I've had Mance with me. And also my mum is in town. So I'm going to try and get Sue Balls on another episode because you guys loved the last episode that she was on. And she's so funny. So I want to get Sue Balls for another ep. But we'll just see if we have time. But yeah, I'm like weirdly nervous. I'm like, this is my own show. And I used to do every single episode by myself. But I've been so spoiled having Mance and other people that now I'm like, oh my God, how did I ever do this? What the fuck am I going to talk to myself about for 30 minutes? But I'm insane and I always find a way to make it work. Oh shit. Sorry, let me just touch up my lipstick. Throat Goat. Available now. DSL by SDL. Throat Goat. StephDelanderStore.com. It's actually a really nice color. I really like it. Yeah, today's just been like one of those days. But you know when you say that and then you realize, oh, I've been saying this about my life forever. Like, when was it not one of those days? It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. You know, like that. Who is that? Is that Limp Bizkit? It must be. Limp Bizkit? No, it's... Who is it? It's Break Stuff, right? Is that Limp Bizkit? I don't know. Comment below who it is. It's just kind of been one of those days. I've got my iced coffee. And we're ready to make some moves. Yeah, I woke up and I cleaned the house because does anyone else feel like just like Cinderella every single day? Doesn't matter what you do, every single day, there's more cleaning to be done. I don't know if this is like adulthood. I don't know if I need to get better at like cleaning as I go, but I feel like every single day of my life, I'm like cleaning shit. I got this brand new beautiful rug, the most beautiful rug of all time. A few weeks ago. Big 8x10 area rug in the living room. Pink and cream colored checkers. Just a beautiful rug. Brand new. And I was so excited about it. I go through random phases. And I think I told you guys about my like home decor phase. This rug was part of that home decor phase. Anyway, so I got my absolutely beautiful rug, and then one of our cats, and I'm going to say Spaghetti Warner, Spaghetti Warner has taken to pissing and marking and shitting, and I'm not just going to blame Spaghetti for the shitting because I have caught Denver Delander shitting, but there's a lot of toilet activities going on my brand new fucking rug. We live in a rental apartment. The whole apartment, apart from the bedrooms, is that like laminate vinyl flooring. Piss on that. Literally, I was like, go and destroy the carpet that belongs to this apartment complex because since ever having cats, I've just accepted I will never, like I'm always going to have to pay for them to repair the carpet. I'll never get my full security deposits back. And that's the life I chose. That's fine. But what isn't fine is our cats deciding to use my brand new fucking rug as a litter tray. It's like, it irks me to tears. And before people try to tell me every single trick under the sun, I worked in a pet store for like 5.5 years. I adopted cats out every week. I know how to do everything. I know it all. I've got one cat tray for every cat plus an extra one. I just got all the sprays. I did this. I'm doing it, guys. I don't need you guys to pet-splain what to do. Wow, I didn't mean to get heated. But you know what I mean? You know when people are like, have you tried doing this? And you're like, yeah, I fucking have. Like, yes. Do you think I just started complaining about this without Googling it and doing my research and trying? Like, yeah, I've done that. Thank you. But yeah. So RIP to my rug. I've like tried to clean it up as best as I can. It's just going to be like one of those ongoing things. But what I will say is, for a household that has 4 cats and none of them are related, I think we're doing pretty good. I mean, it's, as I said, we're in an apartment. We're in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's nice and big and it's nice and spacious. But none of these cats are related. There's definitely some like personality differences going on. But if the only like real negative right now is this rug situation, I think I'm just going to have to like cut my losses and take that, because it really, thinking about it, it could be a lot worse. But I have had a lot of like stupid shit happen recently. I've been away for a couple of weeks. We went away and my mum and my cousin have been here from Australia, which has been so fun, so exciting. So we've been doing like a big road trip the last couple of weeks with my family, which has been so much fun. Poor Mance has just been like fully thrown in the deep end. Like, hey, do you want to come hang out with my insane mother for 2 weeks in like trapped in a car doing a road trip? Like, yeah, this is like a great idea. But bless him. He is such an angel. I love him so much. He has done so well. But yeah, just before we left to go to on this road trip, Mance was at a show and I think this was like 2 weeks ago. I was coming home from a show. I was meant to be flying out the next morning to Canada before this whole Canada thing has just like ruined my life with these fucking visas. But we'll get to that. So I come home from this show and it's like 2 a.m. and I come inside and Spaghetti is a counter cat. And before Mance and Spaghetti and Helen moved in, Denver and Dallas were pretty good at respecting boundaries and were never really counter cats. But Spaghetti Warner, which I didn't realize, is very much, she's on the counter 24/7. She's up in your grill. I also didn't realize that like he'll sit there and eat food and she'll come up and he'll like give her a bite of the food like as he's eating it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is psychotic. I love cats, but like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I eat first and then you can like lick my plate. We're not doing this whole sharing thing. Anyways, whatever. Spaghetti Warner is a counter cat. I come home, she runs up to me. As I said, I'm meant to be up in a few hours going to another show. So already I'm like, want to die. Mance is out of town. And I start patting Spaghetti and I'm patting down her back. And then all of a sudden I feel this big, sorry, that's the dryer telling me that the dryer is ready. I feel this big lump on her back. And I was like, oh my God. Selfishly, I don't have time for this. Secondly, I hope she's okay. And she was acting fine. But honestly, the first thought in my head was like, I don't have the fucking time for this. Which maybe that makes me a bad person. I don't know. But I felt the lump and I went down and I parted the fur. And as I parted her fur, it popped. Oh my God. If anyone here has ever had a cyst on an animal and it's popped, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I was like shook. I was shook. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? I'm going to throw up and kill myself. This smells so bad. This is disgusting. What just happened? So I like cleaned it up as best as I could, but like I couldn't really clean it up because she's like a long-furred cat. So I'm just sitting here being like, oh my God, like this is so fucked. And I was meant to leave the next morning. So I texted Mance and I was like, babe, you're going to have to take Spaghetti to the vet tomorrow. And I started Googling it and I was like, I think it's a cyst on her back that just popped, an abscess or whatever the fuck. And I was like, from what I was Googling, basically, I think one of the other cats, Denver Delander, has either bitten or scratched Spaghetti and it's gotten infected because they do tussle. So I was like, fuck, it's just an infected cat scratch or a cat bite. And as I said, Spaghetti's fine. But I knew she needed to go to the vet because it was infected and we needed to get her on antibiotics and get it cleaned up. So then the next morning, I go to the airport. I'm at the airport and I'm with Matt and he checks in and goes to go through security. And my ticket wasn't letting me check in. And this is when we were going to Canada. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, what is going on? And then I went up to the counter and I said to the chick, I was like, this is not letting me check in. And she was like, do you have a visa? And I was like, oh, fuck. I knew instantly as soon as she said that, I was like, I do not have whatever is required of me to do this right now. She was like, do you have a visa? I was like, no. What kind of visa do I need? She's like, well, because you're Australian and you're living in the US on a working visa, because you're not an American citizen, you need to have a visa to enter Canada, whether it's a working visa or a visitor visa. And I was like, oh, well, I don't have that. And I don't have any of like the paperwork required to do this working visa. Basically, I couldn't get in. Same thing happened with the show this weekend. So I need to sit down and figure out all that Canada stuff so I can get to Canada ASAP. But the whole thing's been a huge fuck around. Anyways, so then I drive back home and I go, well, fuck, I might as well take Spaghetti to the vet. So to make a long story a little bit shorter, basically I took Spaghetti to the vet and they clipped it, they cleaned it, they gave me some antibiotics and she just had to take her drugs and she was fine. A very expensive day for me. Then like 2 days later, I'm like, we're leaving, we go on the road. We've got this 7.5 hour drive to New Orleans. We get an hour into the drive and we're still in Florida, but an hour in. And we're on the freeway. And luckily, the traffic was crawling. So we weren't going fast at all. But I could hear like a noise in the car. And I said to Mance, I said, babe, do you hear that? And I am a hypochondriac. So Mance spends a lot of his life saying, it's fine, babe. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's okay. Don't stress, blah, blah, blah. Because like I'm a very worst case scenario kind of gal. And I've realized since spending lots of time around my mum, it's because my mum is a worst case scenario kind of gal. So I was raised with the panic of everything is going wrong all the time. So I said, babe, can you hear that? He goes, don't worry, babe, it's fine. And then I just thought about it and I was like, I just would really love to pull over and just have a look. Like, let's just see what that sound is. He's like, okay. So we pull off the freeway onto the grass and then we have a look and sure enough, 2 of my tires were shredded. 2 of my tires were shredded. And I've had this happen before, maybe like 18 months ago. Like I had a tire shred. Then a couple of weeks later, I had another tire shred. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And at that time, they said it was because my wheels weren't aligned. So then I got my wheels realigned, got new tires, blah, blah, blah. My tires have been fine for a while. But now I've got 2 shredded tires again. And I'm like, oh my God. This is so fucked. Like we're on the way to this road trip. And now we are on the side of the Florida highway with 2 shredded tires. Thankfully, I had just gotten my new visa, which meant I could get my license renewed, which meant I needed to renew my car insurance and my registration. So everything was up to date. And as someone who has ADHD, it's not often that everything's up to date. Usually things are expired. in my world. Usually things are expired and I've forgotten to renew them. And that has fucked me in more ways than I could explain to you. But this time, everything was valid. And I was like, all right, that's one win. So I got my car insurance. We ring my car insurance. We spend about an hour and a half waiting for a tow truck. Tow truck picks us up. Then we've got to call around and find a tire shop that has my tires in stock. We find a tire shop. Tow truck takes us to the tire shop. They say it's going to be about an hour and a half. And we go, oh, that's great. That's fine. There's a Denny's next door. You fix our tires. We're going to go have lunch. We'll have a long lunch. We'll come back. We'll get the car. We'll get on the road. We'll get in later than we thought, but we'll still make it tonight. We sat in that tire shop for 6.5 hours. Like, the tires blew out at, I think, like 12, and we weren't back on the road until, I think, 7 or 7:30. So it was like, oh, we're fucked. We wasted the entire day sitting in that tire shop. We sat and watched the nightly, like the hourly news 4 times. Like, we watched the same stories 4 times. It was incredible. If Mance wasn't there, I would have absolutely lost my fucking marbles just from boredom. But thank God we had each other. But yeah, so that was a roadblock, to say the least. So then we started the drive to New Orleans, and then we stopped a few hours out and got a hotel because I was like, you know what we're not doing? Driving at 4 a.m. Like, I'm not doing this. This is not for a wrestling show. This is vacay. Like, this doesn't need to be as miserable as it should be. Like, let's just get a hotel and be safe. So we got a hotel. So we get to New Orleans, which was so fun. I haven't been to New Orleans for like years and years and years. The first time I ever came to America was 2014 for WrestleMania. So that was 10 years ago. That was WrestleMania 30 at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. And I came with my grandpa because I was 17 years old and no one else would come with me, but I wasn't allowed to go by myself. So my grandpa came, and it was really cool to go back there and see everything. And I mean, I used to say New Orleans was one of my favorite places on earth. And I think I'm like, maybe I'm older. Maybe I'm older. Obviously, I'm 10 years older. I know too much. I'm grizzled. I'm grumpy. I'm tired. My back hurts. I just don't want to be out late at night around strangers and like loud music and gross drunk people. I know that makes me sound so boring, but it's my idea of hell is being trapped in an establishment around a bunch of drunk teenage or 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever the fuck, just like drunk, gross people. I don't want to do it. So that was kind of like, oh, I had so much fun here last time because I was like up for partying and like fucking around. But now I'm like married with kids, basically. I'm settled down. Like, I'm done. Like, I've hung up the boots. I'm more than happy. I want to go back to the hotel with Mance and watch Dateline. I don't want to go downtown into bars and get into all sorts of mischief. So that was funny of me being like, oh, I'm like an old person now, but whatever. Maybe I'll enter my partying phase again at some point. But for right now, like, I'm just tired. So that was funny. But yeah, we did a gator tour and I fed a gator, which was pretty fucking cool. Like the big airboats. What else did we do in New Orleans? We went to a really nice restaurant. We just partied. Honestly, we were only in every place for like a couple of days. Then we went from New Orleans to Nashville, which was so fun. Nashville, I love it so much. We went to a hockey game. We saw the Preds. The Preds absolutely fucking smashed the Minnesota Wild, sucked in. Go Preds. The boys really turned it on because I was in town. We went down to some bars and had some great barbecue. Shout out Martin's barbecue joint in Nashville. Every single time I'm in Nashville, whoever I'm with, I take them to Martin's and it never lets me down. It never disappoints me. The food there is incredible. If you're ever in Nashville, you need to hit up Martin's. That's my recommendation. Then my mum and my cousin stayed in Nashville for a couple of days. Me and Mance had to go on the road because we've got real jobs to do. So we did GCW St. Louis, where Matt and I wrestled Shazza, Mackenzie, and Dan the Dad. And then we wrestled in Indianapolis, and I wrestled Sawyer Wreck, and Mance wrestled Nate Webb in the main event. And that was really fun because Mance is from Indiana. Well, Bucksnot, Tennessee, but he lived in Indianapolis. And so his mum was there and his stepdad and all of his family. And if anyone saw the show, they know that Mance's mum actually got involved in the match and she had a screwdriver in her purse and she ran to the ring and gave him his screwdriver. So that was really fun to be able to wrestle in front of my future parents-in-law for the first time, and they get to see me wrestle live and all that kind of stuff. So that was awesome. And then, yeah, after Indianapolis, where did we go? Where the fuck did we go? Oh, we went from there to Memphis. So same kind of thing. We drove a few hours and then we stopped in Memphis. Well, stopped in somewhere else, and then we drove the rest of the way to Memphis because my mom and my cousin are huge Elvis fans. So we went to Graceland, which was awesome. They actually stayed in the guest house. We didn't stay there, but that's like a huge hotel that's like literally just for people that are there for Elvis. So it was their like dream holiday. You know, they'd been talking about that for years. I had gone to see Graceland the first time I went to Memphis 10 years ago. But it was cool for me to do it again because, as I said, a decade had passed. So there were some things I remembered, some things I didn't. And they'd also like renovated a lot of stuff. Since I had been there last, and myself, I'm not a huge Elvis fan. Like, I like him. I'm a fan of his work, but I'm not like a diehard fan like my family is. But I feel like if you're a wrestler, I don't know how everyone else feels, but I kind of feel this like natural respect and appreciation to anyone in showbiz. Like, I feel like there's parallels between musicians and wrestlers and comedians and, you know, like anything performative. I feel like we can all relate in some way because our lifestyle's not normal. What we do isn't normal. And even taking like, we were there in the spot where they have all of his outfits and stuff. And Mance and I were like taking inspiration for gear and shit from him. And there was all these motivational quotes. And I was like, shit, we can apply that to our life. We can apply that to what we do. We can steal that for wrestling. Everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything. It's all so intertwined. So I always enjoy, even if I'm not the biggest fan of whatever musician it is or whoever it is like that I'm checking out, I can always find a way to relate it back to wrestling. So that was really cool, going to see all the Graceland stuff. And it was awesome for Mance to be able to see all that too. And then we went to because Mance and I are in our figure, sorry, that's the dryer. It's going to go off the whole time. We're in our figure collecting era. We're fig hunting for personal collection and also for reselling. So now that we're in different towns, especially if we have a car, we're always trying to check out the local stores. Even if you don't really find anything, it's just awesome getting to see what's around and also check out the local people and getting to chat with the locals. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. So we went to a couple of figure stores and we went to one store. What the fuck was it called? I feel like it was called Daycare Kids or something weird like that, but cool. And it was this guy whose dad actually was a wrestler in, I think, WCW, maybe WWF for a little bit, but definitely WCW. in like the 90s. I can't remember his name. If Mance was here, he would be able to tell you in a heartbeat. But his dad recently passed away, so he passed on the business to his son. So now his son's running it. But this store is like, you walk in and there's just shit everywhere. Like, we were like, where's the wrestling stuff? And he was like, oh, you got to dig. He said his dad used to say, if you are meant to take something home, it will find you. So he was literally like, if you guys want to find stuff, you have to dig through this shit. Like, there was boxes of stuff. There was figures hanging from the wall. There was so many like horror movie memorabilia. Like, there was just so much stuff that it was overwhelming. He said most of the time when people come here for the first time, they don't even buy anything because they're just too overwhelmed. I'm like, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, that was very cool getting to see all of that stuff. Mance bought a couple of figures. I don't think I got anything from there though, but Mance got a couple of things. So that was really fun. And then from Memphis, we drove home. Mance and I drove home. My family, my mum and my cousin flew to New York. They had a couple of days in New York. And this kind of brings us to now. I literally have one day off. This is like, but it's not, I'm saying a day off. It's not a day off. I'm spending the entire day working, but I just mean one day in my house by myself. No one's here except me and the cats. And today I'm like ticking every box. Shit. Getting everything done that I need to get done. Because our schedule is like not slowing down. It's picking up. I was writing out my calendar yesterday and I was like, oh, fuck. I guess I'll sleep when I'm dead. Which is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. I'm super happy. I'm super excited about everything. In the next couple of months, we've got some huge shit coming up. Big time. We've got next week, I'm at Midwest All-Star Wrestling, and then we have Revolver. Mance and I are both on Revolver. The week later, I can't remember. The week after that, we've got the Squared Circle Expo. Then that rolls into Mania Week. Then that rolls into the OPW Starcast in Australia. So it's like bang, 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 bang. For the next few months, we've got some really big, really cool shit coming up. Whole bunch of new merchandise for myself and Mance. Whole bunch of new stuff going on. I'm really excited for how this year is going to lay out. I feel like I'm in a really good spot with my career right now. I feel like Mance is too. I feel like Matt is as well. And I feel like we're all kind of steadily just on this upwards trajectory. And it's a really cool spot to be in. There's a lot of things changing in a lot of different places within wrestling. Some good and some bad. So for how I feel anyways, I sit here and reflect and go, I think it's a good time to be a free agent right now. I think it's a good time to be an unsigned talent right now. So I'm really happy and comfortable with where I'm at and with what I'm doing. And I know that Mance is the same and Matt is the same. So yeah, we're all just kind of like moving forward and plugging forward and like full steam ahead in 2024. There is all gas, no brakes, as they say, which is daunting. It's scary, it's tiring, but it's also super fucking exciting. And it's what we dream about. It's what we want. But yeah, guys, we are rolling into 2024 hot and heavy. We got a whole bunch of new shit going on. I restocked my shirts. I've restocked a lot of my merchandise. There's a couple new items on there. So check out stephdelandastore.com. Also, I'm really trying to build my subscribers on YouTube. I would love to get to 1,000 subs soon. So if you guys wouldn't mind, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe, like, comment. All the interactions help. Share my episodes on your socials if you enjoy them. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Until next time, That's cooked.